Hello and welcome, people. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Emmanuel. Welcome aboard, man.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Good.
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty much the same. Yeah, still alive, trying to be alive after a literally a hectic life. I still try to be up and moving. Yeah. What about you?
That's great, man. Yeah, I'm doing. Sorry, I'm doing well. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm at work right now.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you joining from? I mean, from which platform are you joining?
I'm joining from English in the Blood.
Fantastic. So this is your first time that joining, right?
Yeah, this is my first time.
That's amazing. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Let's say hello to, I cannot read, Josue. Josue, I don't know how to read that. Can you help me with that?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Or good evening. It depends on where you are.
Yeah, good evening for me.
Yes, I'm sorry for the darkness. I'm not in the light, so I saw the link of the meeting, and that I'm obliged to join it even I'm in the darkness because we don't have electricity home. There's a problem of electricity. Yeah.
I see.
Don't worry.
That is totally okay, man. No problem. Where are you joining from? You told?
Yes, from English in the Blood. Yeah. From
English in Blood. Amazing. Very good.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Fantastic.
Yes.
So basically, I am following some, I don't know what to call it, a kind of strategy, let's say, kind of plan that every week, simply, I conduct Zoom meetings for two levels, let's say, one for everybody, one for advanced levels. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, on paper, the number of advanced level people, I don't want to call it like students, I would say language users, is a lot.
Right.
But in reality, they do not join, maybe because of the time zone or those problems. But this is the only time that I can conduct a Zoom meeting, fortunately or unfortunately. But other than that, I have this is advanced level. For advanced levels,
Yes.
there is a kind of prompt, they call it, or let's say statement. And
Okay.
we are basically going to discuss it, going to debate it. This is it. But for all levels, what happens? We simply have small questions, not easy, not difficult. And I put them into breakout rooms because we are outnumbered. A lot of people join normally, so that they are trying to talk, they are trying to have a kind of conversation. This is how it works, actually.
Okay, that's very interesting. It's
That
very
is super
interesting.
interesting for you. Yeah. And Mr. Ken is joining, actually. Before saying hello to him, he's going to join. There is another person, again, in Russia. Are you Medina? Yes. Hey, man, how are you? Welcome aboard, Mr. Ken. I kind of forgot to share the link on the WhatsApp group. I mean, the link is the same. The link is the same.
Okay.
Yeah, always, it is always the same.
Always the
So
same
if you have the link, yeah, click on that and join. Really.
Fine, not a problem.
That is cool. I mean, no, there is no problem, actually. So we have two friends here. Anyway, let me just open the prompt as usual. Yeah. And let's see what's going on here.
Manuel.
Hello. Is that Jack?
It's Ken here.
Oh, Ken. Sorry.
Yes, he looks
How you
like
doing?
Jack. Hey, Ken.
Oh, right, okay. It very much depends because I'm coming through a YouTube account and it'll either be Dictator
No,
or
no,
it
no. This
could
is
be.
Ken Clay.
It is coming through as Ken Clay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dictator goes with, I mean, Google
Yeah.
Meeting, something like that. What was
Yeah.
the name? Google Meet.
Google Meet. Yeah. Yeah.
Google Meet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. On Zoom, that is okay. Okay. Can you have my screen, guys, right now? You
Yeah.
have my
I've got
screen?
it.
All right. So it says more and more people are finding it increasingly important to wear fashionable clothes. Is this attitude to wearing clothes a positive development or negative one? What a tough prompt, actually. Yeah, really tough. But I will share this in the chat box as well, so you have access to it all the time. Who wants to start?
Is there an option? Is there an option?
Maybe. Please go ahead, Mr. Ken, as usual.
It's an interesting one because I'm past the era of wearing fashionable clothes. I'm very much a or probably always have been a very practical clothes type person. Right, so fashionable clothes. We're talking of fashion, and fashion has always been very important to, especially to the youth, to younger people, I suspect. Yeah. I think the way I would look at it is, what is the detrimental effect to the fast fashion industry, the fast turnaround of clothing, the disposability of clothing? So almost wear once or twice and then throw away. Yeah. And that would be the environmental impact of fast fashion. As I said, I think fashionable clothing, looking smart, has always been important for many people, especially on occasions when you're going out, when you're seeing friends, when you're socializing. So I think my initial thing would be, yes, fashion has always been important. It is more important today, but the side effects of fast fashion are that it is environmentally unfriendly because of the disposability of fashion, fast fashion, and the repercussions of making, supplying, shipping, and disposing of fast fashion, of modern fashion.
Very good. Thanks. Totally right. Totally correct. Thanks for this lovely comment. And maybe Mr. Emmanuel wants to talk about this. What is your opinion?
Yeah, sure. More and more people are finding it increasingly important to wear fashionable clothes. Is this attitude to wearing clothes a positive development or negative? So from our side,
yeah, you can start from yourself side, first.
Yeah, from our side, I want to say that it's negative because nowadays we're seeing a lot of types of fashion clothes that are coming out, and we are seeing different designs of clothes and different designs of things, and we are as well seeing the negative part of it. Example, we got fashion things that are coming out for ladies, and from my opinion, I see it so much negative that a lot of these dresses or clothes are just showing the ladies naked, you know? And it seems to me like some of these parts of their bodies need to be covered and to just keep them from the public, you know? And also for men, it seems crazy in my eyes that a lot of men are going into wearing lady stuff nowadays. And whenever I got to see this, I just laugh and I realized that, you know, the world is changing from what it used to be. And I see
the world is changing, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I see that maybe some days I'll got to tell my kids that look, we're living in a world that is completely mad and things aren't going on
Yeah.
the way it's supposed to
Once
be.
upon a time during COVID-19, you know, people used to wear this like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
When
you're
I was
right.
a child, back in the day, when I
Yeah.
was a child, my father would never have approved of this, as the other thing which is quite often said.
That's
Really.
true, man. That's true. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, Emmanuel, you're a bit old for your years. You're a little
Yeah.
old for your years. You need to be more youthful, more open.
That's true. That's true, man.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Maybe Mr. I still have a hard time to pronounce your name. How can I? Because I asked you, you didn't answer.
You can pronounce it in English. You can say Joshua. Joshua. That's
Okay.
the French of
Joshua. So what is the
Yeah.
original pronunciation of your name?
the original pronunciation is Josué.
Oh my God. Josue.
Just away. It's got a
Yes,
French
but-
sound to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But simply in English you can pronounce Joshua or Josh.
Okay,
very,
Joshua. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry for this. Okay.
Uh,
What is your own opinion on this one? What do you think?
okay, I'm sorry again for the darkness. Still, I'm in the electricity problem.
All right,
right,
no
but-
problem. Take your time, no
Yeah.
problem. Go ahead. Yeah.
Very much. So, my opinion about the topic is that wearing fashionable clothes isn't that negative or positive, but it depends on people, different people, and different cultures. All right, that's general, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But by my own opinion, it's I can say it's negative. I agree with the idea of Emmanuel says that you find today there is clothes made for gold.
Mhm.
Joshua, we lost you there.
Yeah, we lost you. Yeah, that's true.
For men, and you can find girls wearing them. That's a little bit it becomes more difficult to understand that kind of thing, and it distracts original or natural cultures, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yes,
possible.
it gives it gives there is no more flavor, even there is no more um, order in things, and especially in the way of wearing clothes. Fashionable clothes, they are negative. They are negative because they come to distract, especially to us African people. You see, it derives sometimes people from our countries, from Africa, they want to to mimic and to wear like white people. I'm sorry for that. uh and it gives a great changement in the way of living, and you find people, they become more and more distracted morally, even not only morally but even in the way of living the culture. Yeah, that's
Nice.
my point of view. Thank
Interesting,
you.
interesting approach. Yeah. Thank you for this.
Yeah,
Yeah, really
thank you very
interesting.
much. Yeah.
Okay, before going on, let's say hello to hello friends.
Well, friends.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
But that he's muted.
He's muted, of course, indeed.
Yeah.
Or maybe he or she, I don't know, shy enough to talk. Anyway, so, I mean, of course, this is very discussable and debatable prompt, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, he unmuted.
I think the interesting thing is that the very moral side.
Yeah.
obviously, Josh was coming up. Josh is in Africa. Emmanuel, I'm assuming you're in Africa as well.
Sure. Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
Africa.
So this very moral aspect to clothes and to nudity or to undress, I find quite interesting, and I suspect part of it is down to religion and the way religion controls belief about clothing or dress and undress. So it's interesting that you're approaching clothing on a religious basis rather than
Social.
anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will say, or an observation, could be clothing is also, could we call it tribal? I think we could call it tribal. We could call it club-like. So various styles of clothing, various fashion items can be associated with various groups. So from the UK, I could probably bring up the 70s with the punk era, the 60s with Teddy Boys and the Mods, which were based around music culture. So, and there are the 80s with glam rock and things like that. So clothing could be quite identified in terms of a we would call it a tribal kind of thing. So you could also say the same thing about football. So clothing could be associated with tribes, with groups of people, with wanting to identify with a look, a style, an image. So I'm going to pull it away from the religious, what I'm perceiving to be a religious, puritanical kind of overview as to clothing, and bring it into creating an identity, using that identity to associate with people who are potentially like-minded, who have similar interests. So music could be one, art could be another. You know, you could associate clothing with social groups as well. So
yeah, it is deeper than that, of course, because I don't know, I really wonder who invented the first clothes for humanity, and what was the purpose? What was the purpose, actually? What do you think?
keeping you warm, keeping you warm.
Is that the only purpose? Of course, it makes sense, but
or protection. It's protection at the end of the day. It's either protection from the cold or protection from heat, as in covering your body, protecting you from the sun's rays. I think if we look at, say, and I'm going to be quite specific here, if we look at photographs from, say, Africa a century and a half ago, most people would have been walking around with very little clothing on because there wasn't any need for clothing. The heat was there to keep you warm.
Yeah.
If you were wearing clothing, it would be protect you from the sun, from the intense sun rays. Within Europe, it was to keep you warm in Europe or in colder climes. But obviously, you know, the photographs we have from 100, 150, 200, well, 150 years ago very much show a difference between, we'll say, look at Africa at the moment, where people will go around clothed, and that wouldn't have been the case 100, 150 years ago. So the culture there has been changed because of the Western influence, because of white man influence, because of the missionaries. Again, if we go to somewhere like Latin America, similar kind of thing. The climate there would have permitted people to have gone around without clothing. You look at Western society now, you look at Europe, and the number of people who flock to the beach to take their clothes off to get brown is kind of like, you kind of go, excuse me, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening here? So, and you have to look fashionable whilst being nude or being almost nude. So yeah, there's a complete detachment from some logic at times, I think. I wear clothing on a very practical basis. It's got to keep me warm. It's got to be comfortable, and it's got to look reasonably decent. I'm not going to look like a complete idiot with a purple shirt, a bright orange pair of trousers, and I don't know, stripy shoes, which visually, creatively, artistically would just look very bizarre. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's totally right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
please go ahead.
So from what Ken said, looks like he's talking about the positive side and the negative side of this debate. You know, it seems like he doesn't have something that he supported for this debate. He is here and he is here. I respect that, you know, and I was thinking if you can honestly choose, what do you think about? Is it a negative one or a positive one? What do you think about the debate, the topic? Do you support or you are against the topic? You know,
well, sometimes on these things, I play something called devil's advocate. I will argue black is white and white is black, because being native, I'm probably more adept at being able to argue in my own language. And for you as a language learner, I think it's less about the argument, more about your ability to express yourself. So I will play devil's advocate. Personally, I love naked women. I love being in a warm climate where I can walk around with just a light t-shirt and a pair of shorts. I love that ability. I hate having to wear big jumpers and hats and big jackets. So I hate clothing because I find it restrictive. I can argue both sides. I can honestly see both sides. I can see why. I can see the tribal side of clothing. I can see the destructive side of clothing in terms of the fashion industry, in terms of the environment. I can see what's happening in Africa in terms of certain Ghana as a prime example, where used clothes from Europe are being dumped, being brought, being shipped out to Africa, which is great because it gives them a second use. Yeah. But it's also being used as a dumping ground. And there are major problems with used clothing in Africa where they are going into landfill or being used or being thrown away and are creating an environmental problem. So the clothing issue is bigger than just this topic. Yeah. This topic is a starting point to see where the issues lie and how you see it as a moral side, or your initial concept was about the morality of nudity, the morality or immorality of clothing. Yeah. And that to me is a strange thing, having been to Africa and looking at Africa 100, 150 years ago. It's like religion has usurped clothing. it has distracted cultures, or has destroyed cultures, I think, in some respects, because you wouldn't normally wear clothing in very hot climates. Yeah. So, Emmanuel, go for it. What do you think?
Sorry, I didn't get that. I was working on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on my computer, so I didn't get the last part.
So what I'm just saying that clothing is bigger than the question here.
Yeah.
We have, it's clothing.
It covers everything.
Yeah.
Definitely, it covers the culture, the society, the economical status of the, of course, starting with families, then with cities, and district or whatsoever, and that is tremendous, obviously tremendous. And as you said, of course, the religion has a huge impact on that as well. Tremendous impact. Yeah, please go ahead.
So yeah, I got all what you said, and I wanted to ask, do you really think that the other aspects, the other parts of clothing, like society influence, religious influence, and all these other influences, do you really think that they are also important and we should take note of them?
Ooh. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Each culture is, I think each culture and each history is different. And we're obviously affected by our own culture, our own history, our own perceptions.
Yep.
I don't think I can actually answer that one. I think it's a good point. And I can't, without having time out to go away and think it through, come up with a definitive answer for myself. I do see clothes as being divisive at times. Teachers come up with a very good point that, you know, clothing, you know, we both have come up with this, clothing can identify, it can place you in a social strata.
Yeah.
And that's an incredibly, it can give you a sense of being more important than you are, or creating an impression that you are of a higher social class, you have more money, you are more important. Who would believe somebody dressed in rags? Or would you believe or take orders from somebody who was smartly dressed in a beautiful suit with a tie and a lovely hat? You know, clothing can make or break somebody. So it can give somebody more power or less power, when in fact they don't deserve it.
That is a good point, sir. But I mean, the point is, what do you think of those billionaires or millionaires in this world? They are quite casual. They wear casual clothes.
Ooh.
So, I mean, they do not suffocate themselves by, you know, using those ties or whatsoever. What do you think?
Emmanuel?
Yep. So my opinion, I think everybody has their own way of living life, and it depends on how you want to live your life. No matter if you're a billionaire, you're a millionaire, you're rich or poor, I think sometimes it depends on how you want to live your life. We have some people we have poor people. Maybe I can't say poor, but we have middle class people who are living life like they are billionaires or millionaires, because what they buy and whatever they use is very expensive, you know. And we can take example of the world richest billionaires or the world billionaires. We can see great examples of them, their appearance and how they look and dress, like people like Bill Gates, people like Elon Musk. We see them dressed, and we do not see them dressed like, oh, I'm the richest man in the world and I got to be more extraordinary than everybody, you know. They dress really cool, and it's like they don't even have any money. They dress like I dress, maybe, you know, because they dress very cool. And it's also, it surprises me, you know, this is Africa, and here it's a little difficult and it's weird, you know. Every president wants to ride in a big car, in the most expensive car, and every president wants to fly in a private jet. You just want to do things extraordinary. But this is what I saw, and I see examples of what's going on in Europe, and I realized that there used to be a president who rides in a simple car, you know, who drives in a simple car, and sometimes go on walk on the street and just make life simple. Not because I'm a president, I have to be like, oh, I need to walk on gold. Nobody needs to see me when I'm going out. I realized that in Europe, life is like, come on, man, this is nothing. We can do it. It's nothing, you know? So I see many times like, if I want to dress like how I want to dress, again, it's cool. Example, in the US, I follow a lot of artists in the US. people like Kanye West, and I see he's one of the richest hip hop artists in the US, and he's got a crazy haircut. The other time I saw a crazy haircut, and I was like, whoa, 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 what's going on? This is Kanye West, and look what he got on his head. You know, I can't even do that. I can't have that hairstyle on my head. So this makes me. So this makes me think like, damn, everybody wants to live the life they want to live. It doesn't care if you got money or not. Just live life to what you want to live.
Maybe most of the people are fake. They're just imitators. They imitate one another or others, let's say.
Yeah,
probably that's
imitators,
right.
Fake people.
Well,
no,
is
no
that
real
imitation
identity, maybe. Sorry. Yeah. Please go
is
ahead.
that imitation being part of your tribe? You talked about Kanye West. I mean, he's a hip hop artist. He's a kind of creative person, and they are the people who quite often throw convention to the wind. They throw convention to the wind and will do things most of us will not do because we find it just a little too difficult to accept, or our peers, our employers, our family would struggle to accept us with a very strange haircut and large chains and gaudy clothing. He is allowed to do that because he's an artist. Yeah. He's also a very rich artist, and he has created his own style. And people will follow him to become part of his tribe, part of his club, part of his group, and to identify with him. Talking of Bill Gates and people like that, you look at those people and you're right, they dress very casual, t-shirts, polo shirts, very casual kind of look, but they have the money, they already have the influence, they don't need to look impressive.
That is correct.
You look at presidents and prime ministers, they're dressed in suits, they have their own tribe, they are their own tribe of suit, tie, smart, official looking.
And also the colors.
Yeah.
The colors are really important also. Yes, please go ahead. Sorry for this.
No. Manuel, thoughts?
Yep. So I was listening. Keep going. You're not finished.
Yeah, sorry, I
finished.
just interrupted you. Yeah.
I got it. So yeah, like what you're saying, you're probably right, but what I actually mean is that I just want to do a comparison with Africa and Europe. You understand? My mom lives in the US and my dad lives in Canada. But what I want to say is that I used to live in London for like over 2 years, you know? And what I want to say is that Africa, it's a bit crazy. Actually, I can say it like this, because I see Donald Trump goes out like, I don't need to impress anyone. I don't need to wear a jacket. I don't like, you understand? And here in Africa, this is where a president has to go out and in a very extraordinary way. And, you know, never mind the security, we understand all this stuff. But to me, it looks like they actually don't want to come down and talk with people and interact with people, you know? And it's like they want to live life that people can see them till they finish their term in office. And I don't think I respect that part of it, you know? If you are a president, find a day in the weekend, come down, talk with people on the street, walk around, just interact with people, and let people feel the love of a president, you know? Not like, oh, every time he's going out, he has bodyguards, he has armor cars, he has soldiers at the back, police, just all makes people feel like, you know, that kind of way. And this is what happens in Africa, you know?
Well, I mean, it happens in Europe. It happens in Europe because we have the same issue with our prime ministers, presidents, where they are constantly surrounded by bodyguards. The New Zealand prime minister takes the bus. She drives her own car. She's very one of the people. But again, I think, you know, we kind of it's this impression, it's this pretending, or this desire to look important, the desire to look influential. And you know, I don't know where you lived in London, but you know, it's London's one of those cities where you see everybody from around the world, and you see very flash people in the city of London. You see very cool people in Brixton. You have that kind of Notting Hill kind of posh country kind of people. So London, as you know yourself, Emmanuel, is a place where fashion and style and identifying with various groups is quite prominent. You'll have seen that in central London, driving around or being in London. You have all of these different styles and ideas and ways of wanting to show your membership of your style group, your style tribe. And it says something about you. And I'm wondering whether our world leaders want to always look very businesslike, very official, very strong visually to the electorate, or to, you know, the people in their country. Would you say that was a fair point?
Yeah, that could be a fair point. I think sometimes it's just good to come down and just, I think, you know, if I was a president, or if I become a president, trust me, I think 2 or 3 days in the week, I will come down, talk with people, interact with people, you know, I know it requires my security, I know all of this, but I think sometimes it's good to come down and just stop being extra powerful. Calm down and just interact with
You've
people.
got my X in the box. You've got my vote.
Mine too. Mine too.
Yeah. Definitely got my vote.
Yeah. Of course. Fantastic. Again, Ms. Venera, you're super late. Again, we have almost 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to
what's on
say
the
hello or
agenda?
to say bye. Yeah, actually, I shared the question in the chat box. Maybe you might
Yeah, I
receive-
browsed now.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry, I'm good. So that's not my favorite topic, so I can skip.
Really? Okay,
Are
maybe
you a
you can
fashionable person or not? Are you
Yeah.
a fashionable person?
personally speaking.
Come again?
Are you a fashionable person or not? Do you like fashion?
I'm fashionable. In my imagination, in fact, no. Well, I like fashion, but I don't like to follow it. I'm not crazy about it.
So maybe you have your own fashion, your own kind of fashion that you really want to stick with, actually, right?
Yeah, I prefer to stick to pajamas, to bed, and especially in winter.
That's cool. The best option, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no option, I would say.
There's no ironing of pajamas. You don't need to iron pajamas, do you?
Yeah.
Well, a blanket will do.
Oh, brilliant.
Fantastic.
I
Thank
can
you,
see we're
guys.
running out of time.
Yeah,
yeah.
almost less than a minute. Yeah, we can say.
Yeah.
It was a lovely chat, guys. Thanks for joining. It was really lovely, and hope to see you again next time. Take care of yourselves.
Okay, mate. Everybody, take care.
Bye-bye.
Emmanuel, my vote.
My vote too.
man.
Bye bye.